Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Patrice Roberts and I'm a 25-year-old chef. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make the softest and most flavorful naan you'll ever try. This is originally an Indian flatbread, but some Caribbean countries also make them and other parts of the world, but it comes together very easily and it is so flavorful. You can see the texture of this naan. It is so soft. You can eat it with curry chicken or any types of meats or even vegan options like split peas and so on. Everything you'll be needing will be down in the description box below. I'll be listing all the ingredients and any additional steps that you might need. For the ingredients, you'll be using 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 3/4 cups of water, approximately 110 degrees, 1.5 teaspoon of instant yeast. You could also use active dry, 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, 3/4 teaspoon of salt, and a half tablespoon of granulated sugar. And we also have 1 tablespoon of oil, 3 cloves of chopped garlic, which we'll be using for the toppings later on, 2 tablespoons of parsley, or if you have cilantro or you prefer that flavor, and lastly, 3 tablespoons of melted butter. We are going to be using 1 tablespoon of this melted butter for the dough and then 2 tablespoons for the garlic, which we're going to be brushing on the top. The dough comes together very quickly. We're just going to add all the ingredients apart from what we're using for the topping, which is the garlic, the remainder of the melted butter, and the parsley. And then we're going to combine this dough with a spatula or a fork until we get a shaggy dough and we cannot mix anymore with the spatula or fork. I'm going to be lightly oiling my hand and my work surface. This will help the dough not stick to your hands. So I recommend this step. You can also oil your hands a bit more in the process if you find the dough is a bit too sticky. If the dough is a little too dry, you can also add a little bit of water, approximately 1 or 2 tablespoons, depending on how the dough feels, but you do not want the dough too sticky and you do not want the dough too dry. Hence the reason why we're using oil and not additional flour right now. We are going to be kneading this dough for about 5 to 7 minutes. If you have a stand mixer, I definitely recommend it. It shortens the time, but if you do not, you can definitely do this by hand or you just do not want the cleanup of the mixer bowl and the utensils afterwards. We need to proof this dough for about 45 minutes in a warm place. So we're oiling the container that we're going to put the dough in so it do not stick or get dry and cover with clear wrap. After 45 minutes, this is how your dough is looking, doubled in size, or you might need longer depending on where you are currently. If you're in a warmer place, you might need it less time, and if you're in a colder place, then you might need more time. You can see the texture of the dough. It is very soft and very moist. This is what you need to get that very moist and naan. We're going to divide this dough into 8 equal pieces or practically equal pieces. You could weigh them or you could just eyeball them like what I'm doing right now. After dividing your dough, you're going to roll each ball into a circular shape, which makes it a lot easier to roll out later on. We're going to set this dough to rest for another 10 to 15 minutes until they are almost doubled in size. We're going to be covering them as well because we do not want any skin to form on the top, and we're going to set them aside. We're now going to start rolling out our naan. I like to see them in a rectangular shape. You can also make them circular, but this is just how I prefer to see them. We're going to take the parsley or cilantro, it's your choice, and put them on top of the breads right now and roll them a bit so they stick onto the dough and they do not fall off when they're in the pan. I'm going to repeat this for the remainder of the 8 that I have. Then we're going to head over to the stove. So after I have finished all of my 8 naans, we're going to mix in the garlic in the butter. You can microwave this for about 30 seconds to let the garlic properly infuse into the butter, or you could put them in a pan, but the microwave is a lot easier. You can see me mixing now the garlic and the butter. The butter is already warm, so I'm just mixing it in and setting that aside. Your pan needs to be really, really hot, like almost smoking, literally, so you can achieve that charred texture on the bottom and the color on the bottom. And on the top, you can see how the bubbles are on top here, which means it is time to flip your naan bread. How much charring you want on your naans is totally up to you, but I find it adds a little bit of color and makes it look more traditional. So I like to give it a little bit. I'm going to finish off the remainder of our 8 naans and then I'm just going to brush the garlic butter over them. These are better when eaten warm, but if you are not going to be eating all one time, you can place them in the fridge and heat them up whenever you want to have some. You can also put them in the freezer where they last a lot longer. To keep them more fresh and moist, I'm lining the bottom with a cloth, a clean cloth that is, and then I'm going to be covering the top with clear wrap because we do not want these to dry out in the fridge or in the freezer, or you could just plastic wrap a portion and put in your freezer. These are so amazing, guys. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you like what you see, we have a lot more recipes coming up for you pretty soon. I'm going to be making some curry chicken that you can use this same naan to eat with. Thank you so much for sticking around, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.